लाख संभलने पर भी इंसान गिरता है, लाख संभलने पर भी इंसान गिरता है, पर झुककर जो उसे उठाता है वही खुदा होता है, वही खुदा होता है.
On the Water Bottle Diary today, we are talking to Mr. Nitin Vishnu Kadam, who says he's an ordinary man, but there's nothing we think there's nothing ordinary about him. For the last 46 years, he has been working in various sectors selflessly, in the sectors of health, education, whether it's the Mumbai monsoons, the floods, or this crazy pandemic time. He is sincerely, selflessly worked for people, which is why we're talking to him today. Thank you for agreeing to talk to the Water Bottle Diary.
Not at all. It was my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Can you tell us at what point in your life did you decide that you wanted to do work for the community, for people?
During my childhood, my father, my brothers, people around me, I've seen them working for the society and the community. And I thought I was also on the same beach. So I got washed with them and I started the work. Since school, I was all years, I was the monitor, the prefect, the minister of the school. So all these responsibilities I have been getting and I've been doing, and I started getting the kick out of it. And I think I started continuing in the college. I was the chairman of the Students' Council all the 4 years what I was there. And I continued since I joined my family business also. After the business house, I used to go to the government hospital, JJ, and work from 7 to 11 in the casualty department, looking at the people coming in with so many bruises and wounds, and I was to clean them, and I really enjoyed it. So it was basically a passion which was developed right from my childhood, and I have continued it still.
So even like for instance, working with the hospital, at that point you didn't have a formal training with medicine or with first aid, but it was just something that you wanted to do?
Like when I was in college, I was the warden of the Civil Defense Corps. So I had a little basic training of first aid.
Okay.
And I was in RSP during my school time. So a little basic training was there. But I think for many people, there are inborn talents and the passion makes you so. Even the doctors who are MBBS or surgeons, you find only some doctors who are very good at it. Some cooks who are very good at it. It is not what they have been trained for. It is for the passion, what they have in it. So the same thing is with me.
When you started and spent a few years doing it, did you at any point decide to or consider joining an NGO? How did you decide to do it by yourself?
Well, I always liked freedom in my work. So I did not want to join any NGO. I am a one-man army. And as you said just now, you have spent years. I would like to correct it. I have invested my years in this, not spent. So because it's my passion, it's my love. And that is why being a one-man army, my thoughts can ride a fastest horse. So there is nobody else to pull me out or pull me down. And that is why I decided I should do what I want to do and do it alone. And of course, one cannot do everything alone, but I get support. I may be the one riding the horse, but there are a lot of people who give the hay for the horse, the energy for the horse. They are the ones who are supporting. And only with the help of the supporters, I can keep riding this horse of social work.
So is this support usually from friends, from family? How have you built it over the years?
I have been blessed by the good Lord with a good family. My parents, who are no more there now, my wife, my daughter, my brothers, and of course my friends. I have got beautiful friends, and they are all humans in the true meaning. So that is how I can do this, and they don't allow me to rest for even a minute, because the minute I decide to rest, somebody comes up with something, "Saab, ye lo, ye karo." So I get up again, I wear my boots and start walking again.
Is it, a lot of people, when they think of charity, there are two things that come to mind. Actually, there are two parts to my question. That is it, especially with when you're dealing with institutes, government institutes, getting an ambulance, organizing health facilities, is it easy to deal with as an individual? Is it easy to deal with government institutions? Is there a lot of support from the government?
Yes, I can endorse this fact that yes, it is there. It is only there are people who have a wrong notion in their mind that it will not happen, I will not be supported, because a lot of adverse publicity has been done about the government machinery. May it be any government ruling party, the government bureaucrats, everything, from initial stage when the government was formed after independence, things were put right on track, everything. So it is running, the trains are running on track. And it is only the notion that is making people not go to the government organizations. Government organizations have the best of the facilities. They may not have luxury, but yes, they have the best of the doctors, the best of the engineers. You can depend on them. And in this pandemic, recent pandemics, I have been closely working with these doctors. I have been working with 4 government hospitals and 4 municipal hospitals. I can assure you that the corona infected people have walked out hale and hearty more from the government hospitals than from the private ones, happily, because they were not charged.
Because usually people, because of that inhibition, people take a step back and they are not sure whether they can step out and help others because they think they'll get stuck in the paperwork and in the routine procedures usually. But you're saying you've had it's been flawless for you so far.
Yes, I've been taking many accident cases to the hospitals, to the police stations. Never was a harassed. Never ever was a harassed. Whenever I took patients who were met with accidents to the hospitals, and the police people did take my name and number, but I don't think they have ever called me. So people should bear in mind that there is no hassle.
The second inhibition people normally have is that there's a common notion that to be able to do charity, you have to come from a fairly secure financial background.
Yes, I would differ on this statement. You see, from which family was Mahatma Gandhi? When he came to India, he shred everything. The father of a nation, when he came from Africa to India, he was even thrown out of a train. What did he have with him? But then he conquered the world with his work and with his love. And he taught the whole world what is humanity. So it is not necessary every social worker, every person doing social work is not born with a spoon, silver spoon or a gold spoon in his mouth. It is only your passion that will get you everything you want to serve the community. There are a lot of contributors to the society, but they need to know that you are the right person. You don't need to have your own finances. There are a lot of bohemian people in this world who are waiting, but they don't know whom to contact. Always, if there is a will, there is a way. That is what some wise man had said centuries back. And truly, it is really true that if you work with proper ambition for working for the people and the downtrodden, community will always support you. The Lord will support you. I think in some movie, they said that if you are looking for something, तो पूरी कायनात जुड़ जाती है आपको उससे मिलाने में.
Yes.
This was some dialogue of some film. One of the films which I rarely watch much films, only when my wife pesters me, I go for those movies, and then half the time I'm sleeping. But sometimes, yes, my ears are open. And this was the dialogue I remember in my life, because that has proven true to me.
How has the work for you during this time been, with people needing to be admitted, beds not being enough?
We have faced a lot of problems, no doubt. But I would like to remind you of a phrase. The best of the steel passes through the hottest of the furnace. All these years, all our working staff, the bureaucrats, or the doctors, or the medical workers, or the industrial workers, everybody were becoming lethargic slowly, 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 slowly. The times when the time really came up, everybody stood up, everybody worked. Have you realized people were not willing to go to the hospital to see their patients or to even admit them or even to claim the bodies? How the doctors, the ward boys, the nurses, the medical team, the administration of the doctors, how they have worked there. Have we ever given a thought to that? Yes, a major portion of the society has again realized, okay, yes, doctors and the medical fraternity are really were the angels. But from one angle, if I would tell you that, yes, those who have been lethargic about their work, Corona saw to it that he has brought them back in action. And every good person, only if he works thoroughly, as they say, the best of the doctors come from the government hospitals because they get a number of cases, different number of cases there. And that is how their ability is improved. So Corona has improved the ability of our medical staff, improved the ability of our policemen. Today on this occasion, I would like to salute all these people, the municipal workers, the medical team, fraternity, and the municipal and the police officers or the policemen, the fire brigade, the rickshaw workers, the taxi men, the bus operators, everyone, every single soul has worked.
You have also done in the past, you've also, and you continue to do, I'm sure, a lot of work with children, whether it's supplying stationery, adopting wards in hospital, and you've also done some work in juvenile homes. Can you tell me a little bit about how that started?
About in juvenile, there was one very good social worker in our area, Mr. Babubhai Barot. He used to go every year to the juvenile house to feed those children with mangoes every season. So he needed some workers to help him. So I used to go with him. And when I went there, and the happiness that I got in handing over that mango to that child, and when I saw the smile that was pasted after seeing the mango on their face, that got me attached with the children throughout life. And I think it is going to go with me, or I would like to leave it as a heritage to somebody behind me. It is really, when you see a smile, right now I can see a smile on your face. I'm feeling so happy. I'm feeling so very happy. Okay, if you are responsible for that smile, you have done it in your life. I have decorated or improvised the GT Hospital's children ward, St. George Hospital's children ward, JJ Hospital's post-pediatric ward and PICU. These are all government hospitals. Right now I am working on the NICU of the JJ Hospital. You must, or everyone who feels that Lord has not given enough to me, must go to these government hospitals and see the children who are there in these NICUs. A child is born to a mother which you can hold only in the hand, only in the palm of your one hand. So much is the size of undernourished child from the undernourished mother. And we have now, with the help of my friends and supporters, I'm trying to do this ward, which is going to cost a lot. But believe me, no figure is much for the love and passion that my friends and supporters are going to pour in there. Similarly, you should see the wards which are already done. There were children who are coming there and were not willing to lie down on the bed previously. But once we have done up the bed, now the total ward, the child is not willing to go back home. This is the situation. So that gives me ultimate pleasure. It gives ultimate pleasure to the nurses, the doctors and the staff working there. You see, I have got a very unusual way of tracing out things, sourcing out. Because I'm attached with these hospitals for a lot of social work, when I go to this children's ward to give them fruits, or if somebody's birthday is there, at that time they wish to distribute some happiness, I go with them. And when I go there and I see that there is something lacking in this ward, if I feel that the children are gloomy and they are only happy when somebody comes and gives them chocolates or stationery or something nice or toys. But what about the other times when nobody comes? That thought provokes me to do something. Okay, I always feel if we must do up something which the children who are convalescing there in the hospital, who are getting treated there, who are going to stay there for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, a month, 2 months, 3 months, they should not be, they should not wait for somebody to come. They should get that happiness every single moment on that hospital. We have created play corner in those wards. In 2004, I did this GT Hospital's children's ward first, along with the help of my friends and supporters. Believe me, I wanted a play corner to be done there. And at that time, there were some who advised me, Mr. Kadam, this is a hospital, not a garden. And I said, no, this is a garden. If you make this hospital ward into a garden, the recovery rate will be faster. And then I was able to convince them. Then I finished the work in 2005. And after that, in a year or two, the government made a regulation that every government hospital or any hospital that comes, the children's ward must compulsorily have a play corner. This was the vision I had, and this was only because when they saw that GT Hospital has this ward and how the recovery rate of the children has improved and progressed. So every hospital now that is going to come up is going to come up. The children's ward is going to come up with a play corner. I'm so happy. I thank all those people who have helped me then, who help me now, and I always pray that such Bohemian humans come forward, not only for me, but for everybody who's trying to do something like me. The people who have not much time, because as you say, they go to their daily routines, running from one job to another, from one task to another, and they don't have time. Believe me, unknowingly also they are doing social work. They are contributing to the society unknowingly. If they are taxpayers, they are social workers. If when they are taking the garbage out and putting in the right place, they are social workers. If anybody is walking, and while walking, if they see somebody else tumbling or something falling out of the hands of an old person, a jittery person, and if that person just stops for 1 second and picks it up for him, or gives a hand or lends a hand, he is unknowingly doing the social work. So he too is the social work. So in every human, may it be Ram or maybe it Ravan, there is one corner in the heart somewhere which always urges him to do something good for the society.
Thank you so much for talking to us today, for taking the time. We hope more and more people, like you said, your friends, your supporters, we hope more and more people join that. And we hope more and more people take it up on their on their own as well, to help, to want to work for the betterment of a community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you too. And let us thank the Lord and the society. Let us all join hands together.
Yes.
Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. For everybody else who has watched the interview and liked it, please do subscribe, because this is our way of trying to bring to you stories where there's so much craziness around, but there is also so much good happening in the world around us. It's good to pause and notice and be grateful for all that's good, which is why we are bringing these stories to you. Thank you.